It's early March 2025. Suddenly, the United States, Russia, Ukraine, and especially Europe are on shifting geopolitical terms. Especially worrying to Europe is its own lack of defense, German Chancellor-elect Friedrich Merz said. After Donald Trump's latest comments in the last week, it is clear the Americans, or at least this portion of Americans, this government, care very little about the fate of Europe. My absolute priority will be to strengthen Europe as quickly as possible so that, step by step, we can really achieve independence from the USA. European leaders are now calling for a coalition of the willing, a joint European military force. A union of European nations, having a strong military, may be a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Those prophecies reveal a sequence of world powers or kingdoms or empires extending from centuries before Christ through the time of the end. The prophecies are by no means a comprehensive list of world powers throughout history. Rather, the prophecies focus on the powers or kingdoms that would significantly affect a national territorial Israel. During the reign of Belshazzar, final ruler of the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Bible prophet Daniel had a dream or vision. In the dream, unusual beasts appear, each one symbolic of a particular world power. The beasts rise up one after another from the great sea, the peoples of the world. The first beast was a lion, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, in power during Daniel's time. About 586 BC, this empire conquered Israel and took many captives, including Daniel, to Babylon. The second beast was a bear. The Achaemenid or Persian Empire replaced the Neo-Babylonian Empire and allowed the Jews to return to their homeland and rebuild Jerusalem. The third beast was a leopard having wings and 4 heads. This was Alexander the Great's Macedonian Empire, dating from about 330 BC to 63 BC. Alexander died young. After some squabbling, 4 of his generals divided the empire among themselves. Ptolemy, Antigonus, Cassander, and Seleucus established dynasties in Egypt, Asia Minor, Macedonia, and Persia. These would be the leopard's 4 heads. Cleopatra, incidentally, was one of the last in the Ptolemaic Egyptian dynasty. Next comes the Roman Empire. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. Continuing in verse 11. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spoke. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. Daniel was troubled by his dream, and in his dream he asked for help understanding it. Here's the explanation Daniel received. The 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and it shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time in times and the dividing of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. After the 10 horns, another little horn, diverse from the rest, will arise, speaking great words against God, and dominating the saints of the Most High for a time and times and the dividing of time. This is understood to mean 3½ years, or 42 months. In Revelation chapter 13, we find another description of this little horn. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. You can read the Apostle Paul's description of this Antichrist beast in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 1 through 12. In Revelation chapter 17, the Apostle John recorded another vision. Here we see a woman riding a beast having 7 heads and 10 horns. Who is the woman? Basically, she symbolizes false religion. She is the great whore that sits upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Throughout history, false religion and temporal powers have combined to deceive and to enforce deception. The beast, of course, is symbolic of temporal powers, the kings of the earth. The beast's heads and horns are specific kingdoms or world powers. In the vision, an angel explains to John, saying, I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carries her, which has 7 heads and 10 horns. And the beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell upon the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind which has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sits. And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was, and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goes into perdition. This 8th beast would be the little horn we saw in Daniel 7, coming after the 10 horns. It would make war on the saints for 3.5 years, but then go into perdition, destroyed by divine intervention. So, who are the 7 heads? The angel said 5 had fallen, and 1 is. When John received the vision, the Roman Empire was in power, and 1 is refers to the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire would be the 6th, to be followed by the 10 horns, and then the little horn, as we saw in Daniel 7. So, who were the 5 that had fallen? From the Roman Empire, we'll go backwards in time for a list of nations or empires that had impacted Israel. As we saw earlier, the Roman Empire followed Alexander the Great's Macedonian Empire and its 4 dynasties, which followed the Achaemenid Empire, also known as the Medo-Persian Empire, which followed the Neo-Babylonian or Chaldean Empire during Daniel's time. Before Daniel's time, there were 2 others. The Neo-Assyrian Empire, which had captured the northern 10 tribes of Israel, preceded by Egypt, from which all 12 tribes of Israel had originally escaped captivity. Those 5 are the 5 that are fallen. The Roman Empire is, at the time of John's vision, would be the 6th. Next would be the 7th, apparently the 10 horns power, which has not yet come, and when he comes, he must continue a short space. Finally, there will be the 8th, the final beast power, ruling for 42 months, which will go into perdition, destroyed by divine intervention. The angel continues, explaining, And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have 1 mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. The 10 horns give their power and strength unto the beast. Evidently, then, they are in power immediately before the time of the little horn. The Romans dispersed the Jews as a nation in 70 AD. The Jews began regathering as a nation in 1948. Between 70 and 1948, prophecy was effectively on hold. But now, with a national Israel restored, we can look for the 10 horns to appear. The 10 horns are next in line in the succession of world powers that will impact Israel. and they will be in power briefly, near the time of the end, just before the 42-month reign of the final beast, the little horn. Are there any prophecies that give a possible hint about who the 10 horns' power might be? Yes. In Daniel chapter 2, we have another illustration of the succession of world powers that will impact Israel. Different portions of a statue, from head to 10 toes, picture that succession of world powers. A head of gold, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, during Daniel's time, is followed by a chest and arms of silver, the Achaemenid or Medo-Persian Empire. After that comes Alexander the Great's Macedonian Empire, the statue's belly and thighs of brass. Then comes the legs of iron, the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire later split into two, Rome in the west and Constantinople in the east. The separate legs seem to illustrate this split. The western portion of the Roman Empire collapsed in 576 when Rome was invaded. The eastern portion of the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, collapsed when Constantinople fell in 1453. Then we have the feet and 10 toes, made of iron mixed with clay. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes or the feet of it were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Note that the 10 toes are referred to as the kingdom. The 10 toes together form one world power. The 10 toes would be analogous to the 10 horns we saw in Daniel 7 and Revelation 17. If we push the analogy, we could surmise that 5 of the 10 toes will come from the west, Western Europe, and the other 5 from the east, Eastern Europe, like the legs of iron. But that's speculation. There's nothing in the prophecy stating that. So, what could we make of all of this in early March 2025? We should watch current events in Europe. Will we see Europe alarmed about its own defense, pull together a military union of 10 nations? Time will tell, and at the current pace of geopolitical events, it may not take long.